Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Mets Central's post-game show. Our beloved Mets pulled out the first game of 4 versus the Cubbies at Citi Field tonight with a 5-2 victory. But before I get started and just go over the game, man, I appreciate you guys drop a like. Comment down below what you thought about tonight's game and the performance of David Peterson, most importantly, all right? Heads up, kudos to David Peterson on a good outing for him. Hopefully this is the beginning of things turning around for him. Other than that, if you have not subscribed yet to the channel and become part of the family here at Met Central, make sure you do so down below before you go, and don't forget also to put on your post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. So let's go over the game, man. So a 5-2 victory last night for the Mets, man. Let's talk about the pitching performance by David Peterson. He pitched well, he pitched great. He got ahead on hitters. He didn't fall behind in too many counts. He actually was able to work his secondary pitches well, was able to locate and hit his spots a little bit better. I'm hoping this is the beginning of his confidence level moving up, because obviously he was our top dog last year. But then again, last year was a busted year. It was only a 60-game season. There was no fans in the stands. So a lot of things change when you start having a bunch of people in the crowd and so on and so forth. But overall, man, six scoreless innings of one-hit ball for David Peterson. His final lines were no runs, 1 hit, 2 base on balls, 3 Ks, 73 pitches in the entire game. What I also like is that he was very balanced with his outs. He had 13 putouts, and out of the 13, 7 of them were ground outs, 6 of them were fly balls. So again, pretty balanced. He wasn't favoring his pitches weren't down low enough for him not to get just strictly ground balls. He was able to get guys to pop up as well. So overall, a great outing and a good effort for him, and finally a win for him. And not only that, it's just hopefully it's the turning point of him getting himself on a groove. And I think it's all about confidence and believing that he can get ahead on hitters with his primary pitch, which is his fastball, which for him as a lefty is still pretty lively. He's pretty much a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball pitcher. So he does, and he has a little bit of a bite on that fastball. It's not just a flat fastball, but if he hits his spots, he is usually pretty good. So a great performance for him. I have to say, we got to give him kudos. And so I think Peterson did an excellent job tonight. Then we go to Mr. May, and Mr. May, again, he has those moments. Now, the difference between May's fastball and as opposed to like a David DeGrom fastball is that it doesn't have as much movement. He does throw hard, but he has tendencies of his fastball being a little flat, and I think that's what happened here. I didn't like also with May that he was kind of ahead, and then he started getting a little too finesse, and he's trying to, throw some pitches, his secondary pitches that were not effective. They were way out of the zone, and then he started falling behind on the hitters after he got ahead. Now, this is my mindset as a person who has coached youth travel ball competitively for many years, been in a lot of games. And you're going to hear that a lot here because I'm just more of a coach than anything else first. And when I watch these games, I think of myself being there and actually being able to tell this guy what he needs to do. Now, first things first, is no different in the majors as it is in travel ball at 13, 14, 15, 16 competitively, as well as in high school ball and in college, is that if you're ahead 5 runs in the 7th inning, you should just basically be looking to throw strikes. Obviously, we don't want to just throw balls just directly in the strike zone in the middle. We want to be top half, lower half, inside and out, and really pick our spots. He is not great with locating his spots the way a Jacob deGrom does, where he has very good command of his pitches. Trevor May struggles with that. But when you're ahead in a count and you can't just go out there and just gunsling and say to yourself, hey, you know what? I got a 5-run lead, and I think the catcher should have came out and should have at least told him, hey, you know what, same thing, or relate it from Luis Rojas over to the catcher and say, hey, you know what, let's go and get this guy. The bottom line is, at 5-0, one hitter is not going to just turn around the game. We can build some momentum, and that's what happened in Trevor May's experience last night. Tonight was that he got ahead, then he fell behind, and then he started attacking hitters with his flat fastball, and then he got tattooed. So, where does he go from here? I mean, he has been one guy that's been solid. He was solid last year for the Twins. Hasn't been as solid for the Mets this year. He has the tendency of giving up the fly ball and the home run and the long ball. I'm concerned with him a little bit. I'm not concerned overall about the pitching staff because we already are showing that we are one of the top pitching staffs in the MLB. So I'm not concerned with that at all. But moving forward, maybe going to Seth Lugo maybe down the line would probably be a better option for the Mets in certain situations, especially with some certain hitters. Like in this case, he faced Rizzo, and then he faced the other guy, Wisdom, right after, and they both tattooed him for home runs. I would say, with Trevor May, we got to pick our poison and decide to put him in when is probably the most absolute best time to put him in. His flat fastball is a concern for me. But if he can just go out there and realize that when you have a 5-run lead and you only got to get 9 outs, and of course Louis Ross has to believe that his bullpen can get the job done because they've been getting it done all year long. And I had no doubt, but I definitely didn't like the fact that he fell behind. Even myself watching the game, I'm yelling at him saying, look, you got a 5-run lead, kid. Go out there and get these outs. Throw fastballs, throw whatever you want to throw, whatever you decide to throw, but make sure it stays in the zone somewhere. And at least let's get the hitter to put the ball in play. Let your defenders behind you make a play. So when you fall behind like that and you throw a flat fastball and you hit it out of the park, so be it, man. You gave up a home run. Hey, it's 5-1. Forget about it. Let's move on. We got a 4-run lead. Let's get the out. Let's get the next guy out. But when you give up 2 home runs, that's not good at all. So we don't want to see that moving forward. Thank goodness that we had a 5-run cushion where when that first home run was given up, we still had a 4-run lead. Nonetheless, he got out of it. We got out of the inning. We were able to get Aaron Loup in there to finish up. Loup pitched 1 1/3 inning. He was absolutely wonderful. He was fantastic. Only threw 20 pitches, 16 of them for strikes. No runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts. Aaron Loup, who has had his moments as well to falter on us, did definitely come through last night and finish up the job. And then Edwin Diaz was just fabulous. Again, I was a little concerned with him just really getting, he was just bulldogging his batters, which fantastic. You got a 5-2 lead, more than enough run cushion, 3-run lead. Why not attack the strike zone? And that's what he did. And the difference between his fastball and May's is that it has a little bit more pickup, so it's a little bit more spin, and it also has more movement. Ball tails in on hitters, sometimes it tails away, and then he has that nice slider. So, it was a perfect night, perfect pitching by Edwin Diaz, and then he was just attacking the hitters, which was really a little not surprising for me because he typically likes to just throw his fastball because he believes his fastball is that dominant. But when it has movement like that, like the way it did last night, he's going to definitely take guys out, and that's what he did. So Edwin Diaz, 18 pitches, 3 strikeouts to finish the game. He struck out the side in the top half of the 9th inning. And again, the pitching staff, wonderful night. I have nothing to complain about other than what May went through, giving up the 2 home runs. When we look at the offensive side of the ball, 5 runs on 5 hits is a bit of a concern. We got 5 runs in. Will you believe that we had 8 base on balls given up by Cubs pitching and 4 of those runs scored? So technically, we only really have 1 run that was manufactured through hitting, and that was obviously the home run by Dom Smith. So that is a concern, but the beauty of it is, as Mets fans, we have to say, hey, man, this is a great outing overall to be able to get 4 runs on base on balls or intentional walks. There was 3 intentional walks and 5 base on balls through the pitching staff of the Cubs. 4 of those runners scored on hits or errors in the game, which was the 1 error in the game that advanced the runners and put them in position to be in scoring position. But nonetheless, we got the key little singles here and there to get the job done. But 5 hits sometimes is not enough. But this time around, we were able to get the long ball. We were able to get the miscue on the field by the Cubbies. And, of course, we were able to advance on those base on balls. And we came up with timely hits where we were able to manufacture those runs. So sometimes you can get away with a game like this where you really, really scored 1 run on 5 hits. But 4 of those runs came on base on balls. So if you don't give up those walks, the Cubs will probably be in a better position. But overall, we'll take it. As Mets fans and as a former coach, I'll take that any day if we can do that. And again, it all comes down to the first sign of defense being pitching, and pitching was, again, pretty good last night. And that's how you pull out a game like this where you got 4 runs on base on balls that you were able to get manufactured hits on, and you only got 5 hits total in the game. Guys, the key guys of the game last night: Kevin Pillar with the double, driving in 2 runs, and of course Dom Smith the day before his birthday, hitting his 5th home run of the year and also getting a single, going 2 for 3. So Dom Smith and Kevin Pillar probably the player of the game simply because his double obviously gave us the lead, made it 3-0 at the time. And when it all said and done, when we win 5-2, that double was key in the victory tonight. So Kevin Pillar, probably the player of the game, with Dom Smith being the most notable mention as one of the other guys that you have to, give tip your head out to. And that's pretty much where we at, man. So not a bad performance by our Mets tonight. We'll take the win 5-2. I cannot complain. I'm sure most of you are not going to complain. Let me know what down below. Comment down below and let me know who you think or what were some of the key moments of the game that put us in a position to win tonight. But a 5-2 victory. We go for game 2 tomorrow. Tomorrow we got Taijuan Walker, man. So it was great to see what David Peterson did tonight. When we discuss now, my final thoughts before I let you guys go is final thoughts on this game. Obviously, there's going to be some stuff, some attention on David Peterson. David Peterson, for me, moving forward, I'm hoping as a fan and as someone who respects, players and know what it takes to really work hard and get yourself. And I'd say you're going to hear me say that time and time again here, that the mindset is so important in baseball and in any sport, individual sport. Doesn't matter what you play, any particular sport, team sport or individual sport, your focus and your mindset has to be just right. And David Peterson, we're hoping that with this outing tonight, will propel him to be in a position where he'll have more confidence in his primary pitch, which is his fastball, and then, of course, being able to locate and command his secondary pitches to get hitters out. So, and if he can keep those guys off balance to the point he can get the fly ball, ground ball ratio at 50% apiece, that's fantastic. Not everybody could be as dominant with the ground balls as Marcus Stroman, for the Mets, who is probably one of the top 2 or 3 ground ball percentage pitchers in the league. But moving forward, I think that's what I'm hoping for David Peterson, is that this builds him some confidence. And I think there's going to be some question of Luis Rojas, which I think Luis Rojas has done an absolutely fabulous job with this team, considering a lot of people at the beginning were like, why we have a Luis Rojas. The guy has been around baseball for so long, it does not matter. But he's shown little moments where he has not made good decisions, but he has outweighed that with good decisions. And this is another good decision here. I had no problem with him taking him out after 6 innings. He threw 73 pitches. This is pretty much his ballpark, but usually the ballpark for him is 70, 75 pitches, and he's usually out in 3 innings. He was able to get 6 innings, only give up 1 hit. This is a confidence booster. This is about building him up to the point that he can believe he can go out there and his primary pitches and his secondary pitches can be located and commanded to the point that he can be successful. So for me, it was a great idea to let him pitch 6 innings, and after 6 innings say, hey, let's not push him anymore. 73 pitches. He only threw about 43, 44 for strikes, so he wasn't really in complete control of his pitches, but he was effective enough to keep the Cub hitters at bay, at least for last night. And it builds up some momentum, it builds some confidence, and you want this kid moving forward to be able to have consistency. So I'm hoping that this is a moment in David Peterson's, looking forward for him. I'm hoping that this is a build-up, this game last night, in confidence and realizing that he can get the job done, especially against a good hitting team and a team that has a lot of solid, dangerous hitters, especially in the top of the order. I think he did a great job. Let's hope that moving forward, this is definitely the beginning of something where we're going to get some consistency out of David Peterson. We're starting to see it slowly but surely from Joey Lucchesi as well. So that is good, man. That is just all good news, considering that we might have Syndergaard out longer than what we expected. Carlos Carrasco is not quite ready yet, so Cookie's got some time. But, man, these guys are holding the fort. We can get Peterson and Joey Fuego to really be consistent pitchers in this rotation, and as good as the rotation has been already, just with the top 3 dogs in Walker, DeGrom, and Stroh, it's going to be, again, I'm going to say at the time, it's going to be a scary thought here on how dangerous this our Met team, is going to be moving forward. So I'm going to leave it with that the long as Peterson, last night's decision to keep Peterson in there, I think it was a good decision by Luis Rojas to take him out after 6. He had a great game, leave him on a high note, and I think that was an excellent move. Some people are going to question why he just didn't leave him in there. I was watching the game on ESPN, and commentators, they were basically saying, well, if he was that effective, why not keep him in for another inning or two, especially if his pitch count is low. But this is what Louis Rojas and Jeremy Hefner are thinking, is that, hey, you know what? We have a kid here. We're trying to build his confidence up. So this was a good outing. Let's not push our luck here. Let's get him out. And we have a bullpen that's been solid, and should be able, with a 5-run lead. Obviously, the mind says we got a 5-run lead. There's no reason why we cannot take Peterson out, and our bullpen cannot get the 9 outs. And of course, May had his little, hiccup there, giving up the 2 long balls. You take away those 2 mistakes, and if he was able to be a little more effective with his fastball, a little bit more movement in it. His fastball was kind of flat. I wasn't impressed by it, and that's the reason why he got tattooed. So, but moving forward, again, great move by Louis Rojas. Great job by Peterson. Great job by the Mets to only get 5 hits in the game and pull out 5 runs. We will take it, and we're going to go now to game 2. So tomorrow night, we'll see what happens. We got Walker going for us tomorrow, man. So we got one of our top dogs. He's got a 2.07 earned run average, coming in at 5-2, I believe, in the season, 60-somewhat innings pitched. And the keynote with him is also he's only given up just 2 long balls. So that is big. Hopefully he could keep it going for us. I think they're going up against Alec Mills. Mills, we have a little bit of experience with him already. I don't think, we tattooed him enough. But again, man, it is what it is. We'll take all comers, man. We're going to take them one game at a time. We need some payback on the Cubbies because we went to Chicago. They swept us there in their home field. So it'll be great to get 3 in a row here before the 4th game. Or hopefully it'll be awesome to just sweep these guys. And we have a great chance with Walker going tonight. And then our top dogs coming in a little bit after that. It's going to be pretty good. Over the next 3 days, we should be able to do some wonders against the Cubs as far as pitching is concerned. We just definitely need to step up with the hitting, get some more hits, get some more runs. If we can do that, if we can score 4 or 5 runs over the next 3 games in a row, 4 or 5 runs a game, we have an excellent chance in sweeping the Cubbies and paying them back big time. And of course, that also spreads our lead. I think we have a 4-game lead now in the East, and I think the Nationals are like almost 8-9 games back. As soon as those teams fall to like 8-9 games back, I can't see the Mets faltering. So we got to get as much distance away from everybody in our division, especially the Atlanta Braves that have been having a horrible year. But they can be scary enough because of the long season. They can still rebound if we have some sort of a setback and we start faltering in some way where we're not scoring enough runs and our pitching just goes the other way around. We're gonna find ourselves that we're gonna be in a tight race here. But right now we're rolling, and we need to continue to roll and continue to spread that lead in the division. If we do that, it's gonna be a cakewalk to make it the postseason this year. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, man. I can go at it forever here, and I'm not going to do that and make it a very, very long video. Again, a 5-2 victory by our beloved Mets tonight. David Peterson, a heck of a job. Pitching staff held through with Loop and Diaz coming through. Tough night for May, but nonetheless, we had the lead. We were able to sustain it and hold it, and we get the 5-2 win, and we move on to Game 2 tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night, man. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.